Hello and welcome to another episode of Bossing English with Mr. F. This is a follow-up video. The earlier video, which you'll find a link for at the top here, was planning stories. So we're looking at Language Paper 1, Question 5, how to plan stories. And then this is the story that I wrote following that planning. Let's just remind ourselves of what the question was. Write the opening of a story set in a desert as suggested by this picture. And our goal was to make our writing vivid, lots of imagery, 5 senses, adjectives, verbs, and varied. Varied punctuation, varied paragraph lengths, varied sentence lengths, and varied sentence types. So we'll read the story and we'll see where I'm writing in a vivid and varied way and how that maybe is hitting the mark scheme. Gasping for air, I sank to my knees. Above me, the vaulting blue dome, endless, cloudless. "Hello," I croaked. My throat was like sandpaper, scratching out the hopeless word. "Hello!" The more I shouted, the raspier it got. The only reply I got was silence. Well, almost. This desert landscape was not silent. Rather, the parched air seemed to crack with the desiccation and heat. I had so many questions. How had I got here? Why was I wearing a suit? How would I get out? But what I needed was answers. My memory was hazy. Scouring the wasteland of my mind, I caught glimpses of the recent past. A briefcase filled with $100 bills. A woman dressed head to toe in crimson, wearing shades in the moonlight. A limousine with blacked out windows. But that was all. Then I noticed the bag in my hand. Chic, leather, heavy. Inside were 2 possible saviors, a small bottle of water, and a gun. All right, let's have a look at what is effective about this piece of writing. The start. Okay, so I started in media res. Gasping for air, I sank to my knees. I'm using an ing verb at the start there to start in the middle of the action, and that's one way of pulling the reader in, of hooking them. The other way is to have a question that needs answering. We've looked at that in my earlier video of story openings. What else is happening here? 2 minor sentences or fragments, just single words, just to break up and add variety of sentence length. Next, some vivid imagery in terms of simile and a bit of sibilance. My throat was like sandpaper scratching out the hopeless word, lots of S's there as well. Here we've got more vivid writing. I've chosen a piece of ambitious vocabulary, desiccation instead of dry, because I knew the word. This paragraph has some variety in sentence types. I use 3 rhetorical questions. I also vary my punctuation by using a colon correctly to introduce a list. This is a minor paragraph, that's what I call them, a single sentence paragraph just to break up the text. Here we have varied punctuation. I use a question mark correctly, I use a semicolon correctly, and again I use a colon correctly. This paragraph is a structural feature. It's a flashback, and a great way to show that you are capable of structural effects is to alter chronology, the timeline. And you can do that in various ways, maybe by circling back to the beginning at the end with a circular structure, or using flashbacks and flash forwards. Here we have some simple flashbacks to things that happened earlier. So I start in the present and I flash back to things that happened earlier. Then we get to the ending, and as you'll notice, the ending is open-ended. Nothing's been decided. Is he going to drink the water? Is he going to use the gun on himself when he starts to give up hope? Is he going to use the gun on someone else? Well, if I never get there, it really doesn't matter, because I'm not supposed to get there. I'm writing the opening of a story. My story is more in the line of a thriller or mystery, and it won't resolve. There won't be a neat conclusion. I will continue, but I've just set that story in motion with lots of possibilities. And even if I stop here, I've demonstrated a level of skill in my writing because I spent time planning it and structuring it. Hopefully that has been useful for you. If you like what you've seen, there'll be more videos. So smash that like button, do something with subscribe and all the rest of it. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.